So even when students think they are studying effectively, the methods they are using are actually not as effective as they believe. In this video, we are going to look at the mistakes that students do. Login Science has put together a list of 7 mistakes that students should avoid if they are looking to improve their grades in grade 12. Counting down, mistake number 7, not having a plan. The biggest mistake students make is that they start studying for their exams without really knowing what their priorities are. Students should know their strengths and weaknesses and seek solutions about their weaknesses from qualified people if necessary. By doing so, they will have an idea of which area they need to concentrate on for improvement. They should make sure they know what material is most important for exams. Students often use wrong study methods that are not effective. The way we study for an English exam should not always be the same way we study for a math exam. In addition to not having a plan, students are often unaware of what grade they need to aim for in their exam in order to pass a certain subject or even pass the subject with a distinction. Mistake number 6, not studying in priority order. Not studying in priority order means students start studying topics that are not very important for their exams rather than start with topics that are worth their grades, topics that will score them good grades in the exams. The right approach to studying for an exam is to first make sure you understand well the topics that carry the highest marks in the exam, and second, make sure you can answer questions on those topics correctly instead of starting with topics that will score you lower grades in exams. The best thing to do is spend most of your study time trying to master and making sure you are capable of solving questions on topics with higher marks in the exams. The risk that comes with not studying in priority order is students often run out of time as they prepare for their exams. As exams approach, they come to realize that they no longer have much time on their side to finish the material they need to know before they can walk into the exam venue and write the exam. Mistake number 5, memorizing rather than understanding. While memorization is necessary for remembering things, memorization is not effective and is a wrong study method that students often use. Students should always try to avoid memorizing their class notes when studying. Memorization is not the right study method to use for many of your subjects, let it be science subject or commercial subject or other subject. The problem with memorization is that it does not allow you a deep understanding of any information. Things learned through memorization don't stay that much longer on our brain than things learned through understanding and practice. Memorizing can work well in some classes like primary and middle secondary school, but it can backfire in classes like grade 11, grade 12, and tertiary level. Most of the time, students that use memorization as their study method, when they are presented with the same problem they were able to solve a few moments ago in a slightly different format, they get confused and have no idea on how to proceed with solving the problem. Instead of using memorization as a study method to study information from class notes, students should use study methods that allow them to understand information and concepts. Study methods like explaining ideas out loud in their own words, teaching what they studied to someone else, solving many questions from past exam papers, and other resources are great examples of study methods that promote understanding. Mistake number 4, reviewing information they already know. Students spend most of their time studying and testing themselves on topics they enjoy and are familiar with. When they are left with few days writing the exams, that's when they now start attempting to work through challenging problems and topics they believe are hard to understand. The issue with this approach is that students often end up running out of time to work through challenging problems and challenging problems are the ones that they end up missing on the exam. In most cases, challenging problems are the ones that carry a lot of marks in exams. So when students avoid challenging problems, they put themselves at risk of failure. The best approach when preparing for your exams is to start first with challenging problems and topics that carry higher marks in the exam before time runs out. Mistake number 3. Using wrong study method. Research has proven that certain study methods are effective over other study methods. The study method that many students use is reading over their class notes and memorizing them. Students will study the same way for all exams, regardless of the exam's format. Certain study methods can work for an exam that is mostly multiple choice and matching questions, but not work for an exam that is mostly short answer and essay questions that require them to answer why and how questions. If students want to be prepared for their exams, they need to make sure that the way they are studying for their exams is similar to the way they will actually be examined on the material. Mistake number 2. Not starting early enough. Students have a limited amount of time to prepare for their exams. They should make a good study plan and make use of it to avoid doing things at the last second. Many students intend studying for their exams a couple of weeks prior to writing the exams. That timeline often passes by as exams approach. After several days of convincing themselves there is still enough time to finish the material needed for the exam, suddenly what was supposed to be weeks of studying turns into 1 or 2 days of cramming. So it's wise to start early enough and start with topics in which their grade on the exam is more important. Mistake number 1. Not testing themselves on the material. If students really want to do well, students need to take responsibility for ensuring that they truly understand the material and can solve exam and test questions as required. The most effective way that students can use to test themselves on the material is to use practice exams. When students complete practice exams, they develop their confidence and familiarize themselves with exam layout and questions style. Practice exams also give students an idea of what to expect in the exams and allow them to practice managing their exam time. Moreover, doing practice exams help students determine what topics they know and what areas they need to concentrate on. Unfortunately, many students spend most of their time reviewing their notes and spend less of their time taking practice exam. This must actually be the other way around. Studies have shown that students who test themselves on the material are learning and remembering the information better than students who do not take practice exam. So these are the 7 mistakes that every student must avoid if they are looking to improve their grades. For more study tips videos, motivational videos, and high school videos in math and science, don't forget to subscribe to Login Science. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.